Honor to have you here. Look, the numbers are irrefutable. 24 homicides in 108 days. And if you run that math out, that's 81 homicides in an annual period. We haven't had that few homicides since 1986, since Ronald Reagan was in the White House. Why would anyone be opposed to the National Guard coming into a city like D.C. or Memphis or anywhere else in America to make the streets safer and the neighborhoods livable?
Yeah, thanks, Steve. It's a good point. And, you know, the West Virginia National Guard has a long history of working closely with the D.C. National Guard. In fact, every time there's a presidential inauguration, the West Virginia Guard is there to support. We also have primary responsibility for any kind of hazardous incident, and we're frontline defenders for a territory that includes Washington, D.C. So we have close ties to the Washington, D.C. National Guard. And I just want to make sure everybody understands, too, I'm not speaking on behalf of the West Virginia National Guard. I'm still a member of the West Virginia National Guard, still serving in uniform in a reserve capacity. But I'm speaking on behalf of myself, Tom Willis, as a U.S. Senate candidate. And, of course, we're talking to you with heavy hearts this weekend, Steve. You know, we lost Specialist Sarah Backstrom from her wounds at the hands of the Afghan immigrant. And Andrew Wolf is still fighting for his life. He's in the hospital. His parents have let us know that they do feel like our prayers are working. There have been some positive signs. They're encouraged. The doctors have said that his progress is better than they had hoped or expected. And so his parents are asking for continued prayers for him as well.
Well, Tom, you may not be speaking officially for the West Virginia National Guard, but it's got to be personal to you to see people that you know in uniform from your state that are going to do the right thing to help clean up Washington, D.C., to make it a safer place, a better place. It is the nation's capital, really the capital of the world. So you've got to take this personally, don't you?
Well, I think that's a fair statement. You know, I've escorted foreign dignitaries as part of my duty in uniform. And when I'm bringing in congressional members or ministers of defense or ministers of internal security, that sort of thing from other countries, and you see the trash in Washington, D.C., you have to brief them on the possibility of crime. You see the homelessness. It is embarrassing, and it's our nation's capital. And I think the legal standard here is clear. I'm also an attorney. I own a law firm in West Virginia, and so I can, you know, opine to some degree on the legal standard. You know, Trump is officially the commander-in-chief of the D.C. National Guard, and he also has the legal right to mobilize the D.C. Metropolitan Police if he needs to in a declared emergency, which he declared the crime here an emergency. So the president has specific, unique legal powers when you're talking about the security and safety of Washington, D.C. But the real issue here is this dangerous naivete that allowed for this mass refugee migration from Afghanistan. Now, you're talking about a country that has some 6+ decades of jihadi warfare. Statistically, the illiteracy rate in Afghanistan is 63%. Statistically, the average education for adults is about a 4th grade equivalent. And so now you have this long history of jihadi warfare. Certainly, huge swaths of the population have to be psychologically scarred. And now you're bringing in 70,000 to 100,000 of them. And unfortunately, my U.S. Senate opponent, Shelley Moore Capito, voted with Biden to approve this dangerous resettlement program. And now we're seeing the fruit of it.